Okay, thanks for showing up. This is the second of four. I'll only beat you down two more times, and we'll be through with this. Today we're going to talk about what an emergency services district is and what are the benefits to the people that live in the district itself. The problems we face is when you're in a rural community, you don't typically have all the comforts of living in a city. You don't have city water. You don't have a police force. You don't have health and human services. And more than likely, you don't have adequate fire and EMS services. That's the price you pay for living in a community that doesn't have a lot of population. The other problem is no one city can justify the expense of building a police force, or typically what they'll do is they'll rely on county sheriffs, and same thing for services. They rely on county services for medical issues, and the same thing with fire departments. They have to rely on volunteer stations that are typically almost always underfunded, undermanned, and they're a long, long ways away. So if you don't have those things, you have certain negative effects, of course, on your health. You have a lot of life and death situations where 5 minutes could mean the matter of life and death. But on the other part is if the community is trying to attract businesses, they have certain tax incentives they can provide them, but on the flip side of that, and this is for residential too, the insurance companies, they base your homeowner's insurance and your business insurance based upon response times. And if you don't have a hydrant for 5 miles, that's a problem. Typically, if it's in a city, it'll be every 250, 300 feet. So here we have to come up with other ways to things like transporting water through tenders. That'll help lower insurance cost. And creating an ESD, it's a more efficient contracting method than what has been used in the past, and we'll touch base on that. Before 2006, the Argyle Fire Department, they had to contract with 5 cities. The fire department was not an entity of the city of Argyle. It was the city and the fire department were two totally different organizations. So what the Argyle Fire Department would do is they would contract with the city of Argyle and 4 other cities for fire and EMS services. The problem here is you can't get long-term funding on that schedule. You can't get a 30-year note for the construction of a fire department when you don't know what your income is going to be, because of these 5 cities, 3 of them may contract with you next year. So you never knew what your year-to-year funding was. So you never could get a lending rate that was favorable. What it also did is it created an inconsistent area of coverage. Maybe this year you're covering 45 square miles, and the next year maybe 80. If you don't know, you can't make the investments wisely. The other thing was the citizens within these towns, they were not directly taxed for fire and EMS services. Each city had to pay for that out of their own general fund. So to make matters worse, you have residential and commercial growth well exceeding the capacities of even a volunteer fire department. Of these 5 cities, the populations could range anywhere from 900 to 4,000 people. So not one of these single cities alone could make a $3 to $5 million investment in a fire station or an engine at $400,000 to $600,000 or staff it. This number is more than some of these cities' entire budgets for the whole year. So you see, just because you live in a town of 1,200, and you, as a citizen, you want all the you want the ambulance at your door in 5 minutes. The city and the taxpayers are not going to foot this kind of bill to do it. They just can't do it. So, in the southwestern corner of Denton County in 2006, the voters approved the creation of an emergency services district. And in the October 21st, 2006, there was an article in the Denton Record Chronicle that described this issue as probably one of the most important votes in Denton County, because this had never been done before. And with the creation of the district, what it in effect does is the ESD is an extension of the state of Texas. So what they can do is they're empowered to levy a tax based upon the Texas Constitution. In June 2005, in the issue of the Parish News reported this, and this is directly out of the state constitution. One thing that's not mentioned here is the ESD. It's just like a city entity, and that we can also limit taxation on like senior citizens. So we can allow certain tax breaks for veterans or elderly, however we want to do it. But basically, we cannot exceed a 10-cent tax rate per $100 of appraised value, and that's residential value, commercial value, gas lease, things like that. So the way it works now is the ESD contracts with multiple fire departments. It's the Argyle Fire Department, Justin, and Roanoke to cover everything that's within the district. So the cities they don't have anything to do with it. It's one contract between the ESD and each of these fire departments. The individual fire departments themselves, they don't go to the cities. They come to the ESD, and we're the contracting agent for these services. So what we do is there's 5 cities, part of Denton County, and we cover 66 square miles. In the first year, or 2008, we purchased a medic at $140,000. This year, we got an engine at $450,000. This October, the first fire station funded by ESD dollars will open in October. And since 2007, the revenue increased from $980K to $1.3 million, all because we have a recognized funding stream. So, I was a 6-year operational firefighter. I've been on the ESD for 2 terms now. I was the first president of the ESD, and in March of 2008, the Denton County Commissioner's Court appointed me to my 2nd term. And I can tell you from being on the administrative side and the operational side, this is a great thing for the citizens. And I guess the main point here is that when citizens are part of the solution and willing to fund the solution, great things have happened. That's all I got. Thanks for your time today.